Oh, I did it. I pressed go. I mean, isn't that always it, right? Just pressing the button to make it happen. Oh, so I'm here. Hi, I'm Brianna. Thank you for joining me. This is Wild Woman Rhapsody number 42. I never thought I would say that. I started these videos about 1.5 years ago to practice becoming a beacon on social media rather than just a consumer, right? Because I was getting on to social media and getting totally distracted. I'm totally hot in this jacket right now. My giant sleeping bag. So I needed to take that off to be fully present with you. But coming on social media and getting super distracted and getting wrapped up into someone else's story, I found myself kind of addicted to it for a while, actually. And so 1.5 years ago, I created my own initiation, and part of that project was me learning how to utilize social media again. So this is a 1.5-year-old utilizing social media in a different way. So that's the intention of Wild Woman Rhapsody. I'm also here to share with you my truth. I am not here to tell you your truth or tell you what the ultimate truth is. The intention of Wild Woman Rhapsody means that me, the wild woman, self-proclaimed, gets to rhapsody about whatever the fuck she wants. So that means you also get to interact with me here. Hey, Sibylia. Hey, Nikki. It's good to see you all here. Like, I have 10 live people on right now. This is so exciting. I want to interact with you. I want to see what you love. I want to see what you also don't agree with. Anything that I'm saying that doesn't resonate or you have a question about, please be writing. I want to be interacting with you during this time. Or if you're sharing this video and you're watching it for the first time, I'm not in the convincing business. I'm not going to be trying to convince you of nothing, but I want to interact with you. I want to hear what this brings up for you, because this topic specifically, domination versus communication, woo! We've all experienced both of them. We've all been able to be a part of them in both ways. Hi, Rubia. So give me a thumbs up if you know what you're talking about. Give me a heart if you know what I'm talking about, that you've experienced domination versus communication, right? Someone's telling you they're communicating with you, but you know it's domination, right? So the subjects here on Wild Woman Rhapsody are bringing that spirituality into the third dimensional space. My intention is to bring big quantum concepts into a space where we can all digest them and communicate about them. My intention is not to be dominant here. I'm not here to tell you what to do or what to think or what you should be feeling. I'm here to elicit what your truth is by invoking my own, right? My only desire here is to begin a communication, a dialogue, because I don't know how to solve the problems of the planet. I don't know how to solve world hunger. I don't know how to solve chronic loneliness. I don't know how to solve sexual assault. I don't know how to solve self-doubt. I don't know how to solve self-worthiness, but I'm walking that path myself. And in my expression of my utmost truth and the wisdom that I've learned along this humble path, my hope is that it inspires, intrigues, and evokes you to do the same thing for yourself, other selves, and the world itself. Hi, Sibylia. Happy Valentine's Day. Hi, Nikki. I look forward to something you say that doesn't resonate with me. I love it, right? Because there's a certain resonance. And the great thing about the Wild Woman Rhapsodies is that I've given myself full permission to not need to resonate with you or anyone. I've given myself full permission to dive so deep into my truth to really fuck it up, in the hopes that I give others permission to do the same with their own lives. We're not here to be perfect. We're not here to perform. We're here to be present with each other. It's okay if we trigger each other, as long as we come back to that intention. We all have a mission. Our mission is to end the war. Right, Mike? Right, Mel? Hi, good day from Australia. I love it, right? To end the war with ourselves, not necessarily even trying to control ourselves, but end the war between the light and the dark within ourselves, and then with each other in our family units, and then the entire planet. Every war on the planet began as a war with self. Every single war on the planet began as a war with self, right? So we're doing the inner work here, but the conversation that I want to bring forward in Wild Woman Rhapsodies is, how do we export our spirituality to the planet? How do we start getting it into the third dimensional space so that we can really be the light, right? In the mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, sexual, financial, intergalactic dimensions, I say we need to be playing all out on all of those dimensions, my brothers and my sisters and my others. Right? It's not just a space where we get to philosophize and sit up on a mountain and meditate. None of you are up on a mountain meditating right now. Y'all householders. So that means we need to perfect the third dimension and the inner dimensions and integrate them in a way that becomes inspiring, that we become the best party on the planet. People can't help but join the love tribe, the light tribe, because it is the best party on the planet. We integrate every single level, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, sexual, and intergalactic, so that we become fully activated and become the light bearers of the new paradigm. We're no longer talking about it in our moon circles, but we're living it in everyday life. And today's topic, domination versus communication, to me is the number one key to truly opening that into the third dimension. How do we get these concepts into a space where it no longer feels like we need to dominate and control, but we entice, we invite, we communicate. Communication is an art form, right? It's an art form. It's a dance with the other. And I speak this from a place of having most of my life been a dominator. Most of my life, I have not been a communicator. I've been a dominator, right? Anyone else? Little thumbs up, a little heart. You know what I'm talking about? That I need to convince you of something. If I need to convince you of something that I'm right, that the way that I'm being somehow needs to be justified, that I'm selling something. If I have an agenda coming in to connect with you, there is going to be an energetic of dominance every single time. Now, an intention to connect, an intention to know your truth, an intention to share my truth, an intention to inspire, an intention to motivate, that's different than an agenda to convince you that I am right. You feel the texture there, right? This is truly the crux of the inner war as well as the war with other. When there's a part of me trying to convince myself that I am right or that I am wrong. You know, I'm talking about that little voice in your head who's just constantly letting you know how fucked up you are. That's a dominant voice. They're convincing you. And it's not about destroying that voice. For me, it's been about turning around and loving that voice so much that when it shows up, it knows that it's just going to get some love and it's going to be fine, right? That's been my journey with myself. We cannot annihilate. We cannot crush. We cannot hustle our way out of any part of ourself, right? Rubia says, oh my gosh, I dominate. Yeah, I know. Most of us do. Most of us do. We haven't been taught proper communication. Communication is the inquiry, the desire to connect and discover something I haven't known before. I've begun to evolve into a communicator over the past decade. Grateful. Good job, Mel. Right? The truth of the communicator is that I'm more curious in what 1 + 1 = 3 means. Right? Instead of I'm here to declare myself to you as Brianna Lynn, queen of all times. I'm going to tell you the answers on Wild Woman Rhapsody. That's not what these are for. These are here to open a space of communication so that I can learn something about myself that I've never known before. And maybe you learn something about yourself you've never known before. And maybe we amplify this to the planet in some radical way so that we can create change together. I don't need to be right. But what I want is to end world hunger. So we need to have a conversation around where our paths cross so that we can be on the same mission. Because if you're watching this, you're on the same mission as me, which means you're here to bring more light to the planet. Thank you, Tribe of Light. Everyone who's watching here is Tribe of Light. Can I get some love? Can I get some hearts? You know what I'm talking about? You came in with a mission blueprint, knowing that you were here to activate the heart of every human being, to end the war with self, other selves, and the world itself. Yeah, Nikki. Yeah, Megan. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, Brian. You know what I'm saying? That you knew from a very young age that you were here to add to the beauty of the planet, that you were here to make something a better place. Right? That song wasn't just a Michael Jackson song of everyone coming together and singing Kumbaya, but you were actually inspired. You are actually inspired to step forward as a part of light, as the Tribe of Light. And the key in this process is to learn how to communicate and not dominate. Communication is about connection. Communication is about curious inquiry. Communication is about no agenda but deep intentions. Right? There's a distinction on a distinction, a divine distinction, if you will, a divine distinction, if you will, a distinction upon a distinction. Domination versus communication, agenda versus intentions. Write that one down. Can you write that one down? This is why I need a personal assistant. Can you write that one down? Because you know I'm not going to watch my Facebook video again, but I need to remember domination versus communication and agenda versus intentions. Remember. Someone write that in the comments so I can remember it. Oh my goodness. How did I discover this? Well, It's been fairly recent that this specific distinction has come into my field. Hi, Shell. I love that you're always here. It's so good to see you. This distinction came last week. Oh, hold on. Leah says something. I've been told my entire life by males that I am wrong for being my truth. For being me, strong alpha female. There are ones who love and respect and honor my truth, but most do not. This is a major thing in my life. Is it a collective issue? Divine Feminine Rising? We're going to talk about Divine Feminine Rising because I'm just going to call bullshit on that real quick. Not bullshit on the concept, but more bullshit on how we're throwing it around, because we want to dive deeper into the masculine and feminine. There's something beyond the masculine and feminine, and we're going to dive into that. But I want to first talk about how I discovered this distinction. I discovered this distinction because I'm in a leadership course called Ascension Leadership Academy, and I've enjoyed many parts of it. One part that's been incredibly challenging for me is the lack of this distinction in this group. Things that have been quoted as communication have actually been domination. And I feel that it has been the exact perfect medicine for me in order to make this distinction in my life. And I'm super grateful for the level of domination that I've seen and therefore been able to identify this distinction. So last week I was speaking to my captain and my friend, dear Robbie Shaw, who I will totally quote. And this is the distinction that came forward is there is a specific difference between domination. I need you to believe what I believe. I need you to see it the way I see it. I am here with an agenda versus communication. I am here to connect with you. We have something together that I don't have on my own. Who you are to me is valuable. We get to create something together. That's communication, the desire to connect. Domination, the desire that you think the way that I'm thinking, that you see what I see, that you have to be enrolled in the same way that I'm enrolled. Domination, communication. Let's connect and discover something that doesn't exist yet. Communication is the willingness to go into the unknown with someone else with deep intentions and no agenda. I'm going to see if I can say that again. Communication is the willingness to go into the unknown with someone with deep intentions but no agenda. No agenda. Communication, right? Domination is something that is widely used in our culture, and it's incorrectly called the masculine. It's an aspect of the shadow masculine, but the masculine is not domination inherently, right? Domination is needing to get someone else to think my ideas. Now, a prostitute does the same thing, but the prostitute is the succubus energy. That's the shadow feminine. The shadow feminine and the shadow masculine both function in the field of domination. Okay? It's not the masculine's fault. The masculine's not doing anything wrong. We all have masculine in ourselves. If you can write, if you can speak language, right? That all requires masculine structure. That all requires time-space continuum. So we're all part masculine and part feminine. The shadow masculine or the shadow feminine is the need to dominate. The way they do it is two different ways. The way the masculine shadow dominates is through power over. Power over. I'm going to get in your face. I'm going to tell you what to think. I'm going to be in front of you. The way the shadow feminine dominates, it's like slinking power under. I'm going to hook you. I'm going to seduce you. In the dark, I'm going to get you. I'm the succubus. I take your seed. Shadow feminine, also domination. Notice they're both in the field of domination. Shadow masculine, shadow feminine. The light side, the light masculine, he's getting shit done. She's getting shit done in the world. They have goals. They have ideas. They have a mission. They are out there. They are proselytizing. They are proclaiming their mission. They're doing their thing. The light feminine is a deep beingness of humility and gratitude. It's that deep inner knowing that I am worthy. No matter what I do on the outside, I am inherently valuable and beautiful and good. It's the yin and the yang, and they both have a light and a shadow, right? So those are the four quadrants of the masculine and the feminine. So it's not the feminine rising. It's that all the shadow is turning into light. It's not the feminine rising. It's the shadow turning into light. It's turning on the lights for the masculine and the feminine, because as much shadow masculine has been on our planet for the past several thousand years, as much shadow feminine has been on the planet. Ladies, as a fellow witch, I have to acknowledge that there were many people of the earth who were doing black magic, who were doing dark magic, who were casting spells of evil on people that gave them a bad name. It's time to take all of this out of the shadow and bring it to the light, to the original intention, which is to amplify our hearts and bring communication, the connectivity of what it means to be 1 + 1 is 3. When you and I are together, our field is amplified. Jesus Christ said that wherever 2 or more are gathered in my name, you are gathered in the light of divinity. We need tribe, we need people, but that can only happen when I end the war with self, other selves, and the world itself. When I'm willing to communicate and not dominate. Domination comes from a place of fear. Domination comes from a place of feeling not heard by your mom and dad and your siblings and your tribe. Domination is people who were not heard when they were children. Domination is people who were abused. Domination is people who were locked in a closet. They're in deep pain. They're in deep pain. Trump is in some major pain. North Korea, major pain. Russia, major pain. These leaders have been hurt, injured. And they are dominant because they are showing us the level at which someone hurt them in their past. They're showing us the closet full of ticking time bombs that were set at the moment that they were deeply sexually, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, intergalactically traumatized. Domination is a symptom of trauma. Mike says Hermetic Principles explains this simply. Great, Mike. Do a Facebook Live on Hermetic Principles. I love it. Anything that resonates with you, resonates with you. I'm just channeling right now. This is not coming from anywhere other than my own synthesis of what I've learned in the world and what I'm currently embodying in my own life, in my own discoveries, in my own learnings, right? I'm not here to quote anyone. I did just quote Christ, but he's kind of a big guy, so I guess I'll let that one slip. But a witch quoting Christ. Can we talk about that? A witch just quoted Christ. Christ and I have ended the war with each other, right? An earth woman, a deep natural earth woman can proclaim Christ as a part of my team. This is what we get to move into in this lifetime. We get to end all wars. We end all binaries. We allow them to hold their magnetism, but we no longer make it a war. Rubia, thank you for shining your light. I see now. Yes, awesome. Let's not be reduced by gender. We have masculine, feminine aspects. We're bigger than gender. Absolutely, Mel. We are bigger than gender. We are infinite, ultimately. But we're in the portcullis of this gender, and we get to play with that. But if we forget, if we lose ourselves, I'm going to quote James P. Carse, Finite and Infinite Games. We are infinite beings in a finite experience. But if the infinite self forgets that we are just in a finite game, then we become finite ourselves. That is gender. We are infinite beings in a finite experience. But if in my finite experience I forget my infinity, I become finite. So let's not forget our infinite experience. Hi, Tina, witch quoting Christ. You know I loved JC, always have. We've had our thing. I love my best friend. Thank you, Cal, for being here. I love you so much. So really, at the end of the day, this conversation, and share this if this moves you, right? Please share this because I think it's important for us to begin the conversation again and again and again, how to end the war with self, other selves, and the world itself. That came out funny. I'm still a little congested. How to end the war with self, other selves, and the world itself. And it begins with this conversation of domination versus communication. Truly. So thank you for being here. This is Wild Woman Rhapsody number 42. You can check out all of my videos here on Facebook. I also have a YouTube page and the link is somewhere. I might post it here. I might not. I need a personal assistant. Obviously, my last personal assistant left me. I'm just kidding. She graduated. So I don't have someone uploading my shit right now. So you can search around on YouTube for me or you can hang out here on Facebook, but please know I'm here to be of service and I'm here to have a conversation. So if you agree, awesome. If you disagree, awesome. If you want to talk more, put it in the comments here. I like public communication. I like being able to see. Please know if you go on attack, if you start dominating in any way, me or another person on here, I will give you one warning and then I will delete and block you. Any form of domination where you're trying to convince me or convince someone else that you are right. Communication, yes, state your truth. My truth is, my experience is, what is yours? You're allowed to initiate any form of communication. You do not have to agree with anyone ever. But if there's any displays of domination where you're trying to make yourself right and assert yourself over someone else, I will give you one warning, and then your comment will be deleted and blocked, and you will be blocked. So I just want to let you know, everyone, that this is a safe space to have a conversation, to share your truth, whether it's in resonance or not, whether you agree with me or not, that's not important. We get to build something I can't even see yet, so I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to share my truth so that you can share your truth so that we can create heaven on earth, all right? Jay, I agree and disagree equally. Great, be more specific. Be more specific, brother. Oh, your boundaries are an epic transmission. Thank you. You're welcome. May it inspire us all. The boundaries are for myself. As much as anyone else. All right, y'all. I love you so much. Peace to all, love to all, light to all. It's a Wild Witch signing off with Wild Woman Rhapsody. Bless.